right, so let's go ahead and dive in. This week, obviously, here we're talking about super user reporting tips and tricks. And this one's super fun because just sometimes it reveals things that people may not have known about different ways to extract information, pull reports, etc. So let's dive right in. Let me open Pipeline. So I'm going to start with one that's kind of my favorite. If you use these shortcuts on the transactions page, you can also get to these from the reports menu. If you use these shortcuts over here, any of these shortcuts that run these reports that have numbers in them, like the closing in 30 days or the expiring in 14 days, etc. Whenever there's a number in the URL or the web address here, you can actually change that to be customized. So let's say I really wanted to see everything closing in the next 180 days, right? I can just change that to 180. It actually changes the title of the report for me and pulls everything based on 180 days. So just a little tip there that you've got the ability whenever you see a number in there to give it a try to see if you can customize that, that time or that range of information. Okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is just to note that these are just shortcuts, right? Obviously, shortcuts there. So it's really running reports that you could manually set up over here, right? So closing in 30 days, I could set this to be, you know, where it closes in the next 30 days, set those dates appropriately. So basically, you can run these shortcut reports and then further customize them here if you wanted to. But just really know that this is full customization of being able to search exactly what you want to pull by specifying these different criteria here, okay? And the beauty of both of those, whether you're manually updating, you know, a number in this URL or setting a custom search, and, you know, you may have several criteria that you're specifying here. The beauty of both of those is that you can, if they are reports that you're going to run again later, save those as bookmarks to make them super convenient. So let's say I set up a detailed report, maybe it's transactions that are in the listed state, where I've got the listing side that are in a particular location, etc. Set up your bookmark for it. That way, again, you set up all these criteria for searching, listed, you know, in past, you know, 30 days or something if I had specified dates, right? So you can name that to whatever you want. That way, again, you set up all this criteria for searching, set up your bookmark for it, and next time I want to run this, I just click that bookmark. It's right there. Okay, so bookmarks are a huge time saver when you run something regularly that you've customized. And keep in mind, when I say customized, that's pretty much anything you run throughout the system, whether you're running this custom search here, whether you're on the unassigned page and running a custom filter or search there, unreviewed, wherever you are, you'll notice when you do that and run that search, you get a very custom URL here. So anytime you've got a different URL, you can bookmark that so that you can, again, access it easily later. So throughout the system, if you set up any custom searches, sorts, any reporting that is customized, you can bookmark that for easy access later. Okay, so those are a few things there. Also, I can't not mention the search operators, because a lot of people realize that you can come here and search for, you know, a particular agent's name, or, you know, search for a property address is probably the most common, right? Whatever, Main Street, etc. And I can find what I'm looking for that way. But a lot of people don't realize what these search options, or often we call them the search operators, are down here, right? These allow me to search within specific fields. So if I didn't want to run the broad search that happens when I just generically type into this field, which searches for the address, searches the address, MLS, agent, seller, and buyer fields, all of those. But if I wanted to search in a specific field, maybe I'm looking for the seller name, or for wanted to search by agent's last name and not just put it in, again, this generic search, because it'll find everywhere I find, let's say, Lane, right? Maybe the person's last name is Lane, and I don't want it to find those that have the street name of Lane. Or maybe I'm looking for who created particular transactions, or want to search by MLS number. Whatever I wanted to do and only wanted it to search those fields, I could use these search operators. Okay, and even in some cases, transaction name. I only wanted to search in the transaction name where I see 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 is also in the MLS number or whatever, right? So you've got that ability. So it's really powerful, but super simple to use. You've got the ability to search within those fields. And then also over here, some people don't realize that you can look at your most recent searches. So toggle back and forth between those search operators and your most recent searches really easily. Okay. The other thing I wanted to mention is when you run your reports or run your filters and your searches, etc., some people don't realize they want to save the information. In the future, we're going to have the ability to export your results to a spreadsheet. But you can also already print or save your results as PDFs by printing them to PDF really easily. So if I use my browser's print function, particularly Chrome, I know does print to PDF, and some other browsers do as well. But you can always save as a PDF instead of selecting your printer, right? So if I do save as PDF, now I'm saving these results as a PDF. And now notice, let me do this again. Notice, this is my transactions page. Notice how cleanly when I print this, how cleanly this list prints. Most of the pages throughout Pipeline have been designed to print really nicely for, again, if you're going to print a PDF, that's fine, but even printing to the printer, basically reducing the information that you don't need, like the menus, etc. So again, here on this transactions list, it nicely prints the data there. On transactions themselves, if I were to print a transaction, it nicely organizes the information to be printed. So it prints the checklist first, super nicely formatted, then goes into the main portion of the transaction, etc. So printing, creating PDFs when you're printing, all super clean and seamless to do using your browser's print function if it's got print to PDF. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to mention was some people don't realize that when you're on the transactions list, you've got the ability to generate a list of all of your contacts that are in Pipeline for you. So if I click this and then go save that, it looks like this, right, with all of our fictitious people in here, right? So super easy to generate a list of all the contacts in the system if you ever need to. Okay. And that, actually, I'll leave that there. And that is it for reporting tips and tricks. Just wanted to arm you with a few powerful features that when you're generating information or trying to look for it may help you out.